Hello, welcome to iFanboy special edition review of Supergirl. My name is Conor Kilpatrick. I'm here with Paul Montgomery
Hello.
and Josie.
Hello.
And we're here talking about Supergirl, the second film from the new regime at DC, the James Gunn regime, how long they will last, whether or not they will last through the merger, and whether or not we get a whole new regime and a whole new look at DC remains to be seen. But for now, this is the second film. This is written by Anna Noguera, directed by Chris Gillespie, who I was surprised. Somebody asked me what else he had done, and I thought I knew at the top of my head, but he's a very interesting choice. He directed by Tanya and other more indie.
Lars and the Real Girl.
Lars and the Real Girl, yeah. Interesting choice.
Cruella.
Yeah. I have her name spelled wrong. Starring Milly Alcock with Eve Ridley and Matthias Schoenaerts and Jason Momoa and David Krumholtz and David Cornsweet returning as Superman, Emily Beecham. So let's give a spoiler warning and dive right into this discussion. Did you guys have any expectation going into this after seeing Supergirl the Fairy into Superman? Or I mean, what were your thoughts walking into this film? This is loosely based on the Tom King, Bilquis Evely story,
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It was originally called that, and then they took the Woman of Tomorrow off of that.
Well, maybe because they realized it was hardly based on that story at all. So, what were you guys thinking moving in?
So I thought the introduction of Supergirl at the end of Superman was really interesting and like a smart choice for the character, because it makes sense that Clark didn't have the trauma of the destruction of Krypton.
Right.
He has different trauma from that movie, but
sure.
Kara lost the planet where she grew up. She was a teenager when she left her civilization and ended up on Earth. And I thought that what an interesting way to look at it, as she's like trying to basically drown her sorrows. And
right.
It sort of sets her apart, because usually, like, how is Supergirl usually characterized in media? It's just like, she's Superman's cousin. She's nice. Sometimes she's rebellious. That's usually where they get the most character out of her.
Usually she's sweet.
She's sweet, yeah. She's like the girl next door kind of thing. Yeah. Maybe she's like, she chafes a bit at like growing up with the elderly Kent in Kansas, and
sure.
That's the animated version. But so I thought this is a great way that we already know something about Supergirl going into this, and so I thought that was promising.
Josie, what were your thoughts going into the film?
It's strange. When I saw the scene in Superman, I was excited for the film. I thought it was like a very cool take and a great way to introduce her. But in the months in between, I became less excited for the film. I think because there wasn't that much promotion for the film.
And the buzz was bad, and there was a lot of behind the scenes, like, it's not going well, and they cut 25 minutes out before it got released. It's only an hour 47 minutes, which is super short for these kind of movies. So there was a lot of they've got a problem on their hands buzz on the film before it came out, which dampened my excitement for it, for sure.
Exactly. So I think I came into it without any expectations.
Yeah. And I mean, I was looking forward to the adaptation. The Woman of Tomorrow book is terrific. I think Milly Alcock's a great choice. She was really funny in the Superman cameo, but she was really good on House of the Dragon, and
it's great.
Really interesting choice. The cast was strong. These movies continue to be cast really well. And so, going into it was excited. And so just diving into it, I don't think it was as bad as the buzz, but I think it was a real step down from Superman. And I know we shouldn't constantly be comparing these movies. And I went literally insane trying to rate this on Letterboxd because I was thinking about all the other ratings I had made, and I was like, well, it's better than that, but not that bad. And I was like, is it a full star less than Superman? But that puts it too low. Like, I was trying to figure out where to put it, and it was just making me crazy. I changed the rating like 4 times. I mean, it's enjoyable enough, and she's terrific. The cast is really good. But I don't know that the story necessarily entirely worked. I think the running time didn't help because I felt like they tried to do too much in the very short time they had. It was both an origin story and an extremely loose adaptation of the Woman of Tomorrow story. It was hard. I mean, it was like the bedrock of that story, but then they took everything else and threw it out. The whole like Western true grit aspect of it went out the window. And I realize I'm the non-dog person here, but I'm really kind of, we need to put a moratorium on Krypto for a
You're
film.
over Krypto?
They're going hard on Krypto 2 films in a row. It's just, if it wasn't 2 films in a row, if there's a different film in between that didn't feature Krypto,
I can understand that.
It's just a lot of Krypto. And then the next film is going to be another Superman movie, so it'll be more Krypto probably. So it's just like, it's a lot.
That CGI dog got me. Like
I get it.
I'm a dog person, and
Me too.
like loved him in Superman. The place, like the table setting that they did in Supergirl about their relationship really got me, because I think I'm at a point in my life where my friends and I are kind of like, we're starting to lose our college year pets. And I remember, you know, like those times when I had my dog, like, and I was sort of a stupid, selfish, like young person who didn't know how to take care of a dog. Like, dog had a really great life, but you know, it was those, you come home at 2 a.m. and you're sharing a cherry pie with your dog situation. Whereas my dogs now get like, you know, people grade food, and they're treated like my kids. It's like a completely different situation. But the dog that I had when I first moved to LA was like my Krypto, and like we had a very similar relationship to that. So that when Krypto was shot with the arrow, like even though I had read the comic and I knew it was coming, it really got me.
That's a really good montage too, and I think it's
the opening montage was terrific. I thought it was my favorite sequence of the film. Was her, you know, her rough and tumble party lifestyle interspersed with Krypto in space. I thought that was a great sequence.
It's a really interesting structure the movie has, because you do get her origin story with Argo City and the destruction of Krypton, and we finally get the answer to sort of like how are they going to explain why she landed at a different time, and like oh, actually in this version she's not older than Clark. It wasn't a thing where she ended up in the Phantom Zone or wherever, or time
they did change her origin.
They changed her origin a bit so that Argo City breaks off from Krypton, and we get that like later in the film. It's a later flashback, and I don't know if it's positioned the best for the emotional stakes of the movie.
Was it Argo City or was it Argo neighborhood? I mean, they just sort of took a neighborhood out of Krypton. It seems to be like Coruscant, which is an entire big city. So.
Right. I was like, wait, are they doing like Kandor, or like what are they doing? Because like just based on like the sort of the dome shape and everything, and like there's like a couple different, like in your head, you're like, what are they doing here? And you're making all these calculations of different versions of Supergirl and different versions of the destruction of Krypton. And while some of that was actually like my favorite parts of the movie, because you get into the intricacies of the lore. Like one of the big questions coming out of Superman was, is Krypton a monoculture? Like, does everybody want Clark or Kal-El to conquer worlds?
It was funny. I had forgotten that, and so when they said it again, I sort of like did like my head shot back for a second, because I forgot that this is a very different Krypton than we're used to.
Yeah. So Kara's dad, Zor-El, played by David Krumholtz, it's always awesome. You get the idea that they maybe butted heads on this stuff. They were like together trying to get the council. Yeah, they were trying to get the council to be like, hey, let's take this seriously. What's going on Krypton? That the planet's going to explode. But like, it sounds like Jor-El was like a fanatic and like a radical who wanted to conquer worlds, whereas Zor-El's like, I don't know about that. Right. And yes, like Kara's mom is like, just be good.
Oh, Laura, not Laura. That's the wrong one.
Right. And so that stuff's pretty interesting, but it's also you've got sort of two movies going on. You've got this adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow and the introduction of Supergirl, and I think they bit off a little bit more than they could chew with the adaptation
What's
part.
your overall? Both your overalls. Like I thought it was fine. Like it was entertaining, but I think a step down. Well, that was my overall feeling. I didn't think it was
Sure.
bad, but I thought it was like that was fine. I'll watch it again. But like Superman, it never made me feel the feeling Superman made me feel. Like it never made me feel. There was no bit of soaring. It's a different movie. She's a different character. I understand that, but it was no moment where I was like, "This is what I wanted. This is what I've been waiting for since forever from a DC movie." And she's a different character. It's not going to be the same thing. I get that, but it just lacked something in it that I can't put my finger on. And I'm hoping to find it. So what did you guys feel overall about the movie?
I would say Milly Alcock, great Supergirl, great direction for Supergirl. I wish the movie around her was better.
Josie?
Yeah, I feel like I'm similar to you where it was a fine movie. I had an enjoyable time. I liked watching it. I felt like the casting was great. Eve Ridley, who was in Three Body Problem, was amazing.
Oh, she was really, really good.
Yeah, like it was really great to see her in that role. I think there were parts of it that I really liked, and parts of it where I felt like it was like just
underbaked.
Like the planets, all the planets looked the same. They had this like brown hue to them.
Right.
And it wasn't until you came to Earth where finally we were out of the brown hue and Earth looked magical after being in like brown desaturated hues, and you're in front of the Fortress of Solitude. It looked amazing. And that seemed strange to me.
Clark has a really nice apartment too. It was nice going back there. I don't think he spends any time there at all. No. But like I think he's too busy being Superman and being, a reporter, but which is kind of a neat thing. Like Lois's apartment is more lived in, but his is like it looks like an ad for an apartment.
Well, not if Kara's moving in with Krypto. That place is toast. So this, if you hadn't seen the movie, I mean, if you haven't read the book or haven't seen the movie, someone wrote in and asked us to make sure we recap the plot better than we've been doing lately. So,
okay.
Kara is currently much as was shown in her cameo. She's off partying in Red Sun universes or galaxies, so she can get drunk. And while this is happening, she this Krem, this member of this evil gang, what were they called? The
Brigands, with a capital B.
He goes to this family's remote house. There's elements of the Western in it, but it's not enough of a through line to make it a true Western take. But the idea of someone's like house on the plains, with nothing around it. He's a sword maker in his family. He makes the best swords in the galaxy, and Krem's team wants all his swords, so they come to steal them, but then in the course of it kill everybody but the daughter, played by Eve Ridley, Ruthie, classic Western name. And so then it becomes a tale of revenge where Ruthie wants desperately for someone to help her kill Krem, and ends up stumbling upon Kara. And Kara only gets involved once the brigands shoot Krypto with a poison dart, and she has 72 hours to get the cure, or Krypto will die. So that's the main story. Is the two of them hunting for Krem. Lobo shows up for no good reason whatsoever, and then that's basically the story. And then every time Kara gets basically knocked out or has a moment of pensiveness, we flash back to her origin. That's sort of the interplay of the two stories. And it was tough when you're talking about a sub 2 hour runtime. I had a long debate with my wife about this. She liked it a lot more than I did, but I thought both sides didn't get enough to make them impactful enough. Like we got a taste of her early life and origin. We don't know what happened between her landing on Earth and then the present. There's nothing about that. It goes from her being a kid on Krypton to the explosion of Krypton, but Argo City staying under that dome and somehow not exploding, even though I guess the dome went underneath it. Yeah. And then,
but also that's they discover that they've dredged up kryptonite in
Everyone's dying.
and everyone's dying. Everyone is like slowly getting radiation poisoning, but at different rates. And
so Zor-El sends her off after the mother dies, and she lands as a teenager in Antarctica or wherever the Fortress of Solitude is, and Superman finds her. And he was great. I mean, he is so great as Superman. Like he there was a couple of scenes. They did a couple of video calls, and he helps.
He's just checking up on her. He's worried about her.
He lands when the ship lands, and he's just so great as a dorky Superman who still inspires what he inspires. And I liked where she explained, like, he sees the good in everyone and I see the truth, which is kind of how they position them, where she's sort of cynical about human nature, which doesn't mean she's wrong, or human nature, but the nature of beings in the world and the universe. And it was a nice interplay. I wish we'd got more time with them. I have no idea if she's even in the Man of Steel movie or not, but
I believe she is.
I'm guessing probably. I would assume with the
to what extent I don't know.
Yeah, the middling box offices probably won't ever get another Supergirl movie, but I'd like to see them play off each other a little bit more. But so to me, the biggest loss was I loved the true grit nature of the comic, where they went from town to town or planet to planet, but it was the metaphor from town to town of trying to find this outlaw. And it was much more of Western tropes in the comic. And it was like she wore the duster over the costume, which didn't happen. She either wore the duster with regular clothes or the costume, but not both. Mm-hmm. It just felt like they took the least bit of veneer from the comic, and then they just did their own thing, which is what they do. That's what, no one ever wants to just adapt the thing, but it was a kind of a disappointment.
In that way, it reminded me of Thor: Love and Thunder, because you take a great arc like the God Butcher storyline and do something completely different. You're just using that as a skin over top of what Taika Waititi wanted to do with that movie. And so it's I would say I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think I'm just really frustrated with it because there's so much potential from the source material, from the casting, like we've been saying. There's a lot of great elements.
And she's so good.
She's great. She does so much to bring a sense of who Kara is, and
she has a great personality. She has a lot of personality.
The weight that she's carrying of, I have this whole, like, everyone I knew is gone. And, but I think there's some missed opportunities. Like, what was her role going to be on Earth? And she just doesn't have that. And there's no conversation about that. There's no,
I found myself wishing that was the movie. Once I realized they weren't really doing Woman of Tomorrow, it was just sort of the trappings of it. I found myself wishing it had taken place on Earth. Josie, for partially the reason why I felt like it was just kind of a boring movie to look at, and I found myself missing the bright colors and the heroism of the Earth story from the previous film. Josie, what was your favorite part of the movie?
Oh gosh, my favorite part.
Or it doesn't have to be a scene.
Probably that early montage with Krypto. I love that so much. But kind of going back to what you're saying about the original source material, and this being a loose adaptation, I think that the loose adaptation of it all helped with kind of simplifying the storyline.
Sure.
And for a film, like I totally understand that, but then there was sort of this color brought in by turning her, instead of this Western sort of storytelling that you have from Woman of Tomorrow, she's brought into this sort of like alt girl punk rock persona that I think really changes the storytelling, and
she's
kind of changes the timeline.
She's got to be prodded into being a hero here. It's got to be. She always does the right thing, and she always has the instinct to, but she's got to be kind of prodded into it, which is the arc. Yeah. That's the arc of her character. She probably puts the suit on, it's because she's fully accepting herself as Supergirl, but it's just a different story.
It's just different. And I was so happy when she put that suit on, because in all the other fight sequences, it was kind of like dust against the brown duster coat again, a brown atmosphere. And so once the suit was on, being someone that like does Muay Thai, like I was like, oh, like she actually is fighting properly. She's
Yeah.
doing her hooks properly. Like, it was like really cool to see her in action with that suit, because before it was really hard to tell what was going on in those fight sequences.
There was about 30 minutes in, I realized, oh, she's not going to wear this suit for a long time. And that's one of the tropes that kind of bugs me about the modern superhero movie. It goes along with the Marvel being embarrassed by the source materials, where they make fun of the names or whatever. But like, this character's not wearing the suit. It's just like, you're doing a superhero movie. Like, this is what you're doing. Like, Christopher Reeve didn't spend half the movie in a civilian outfit until he finally put the suit on again. It was just like, he's Superman. They weren't embarrassed about it. I just felt like,
she was wearing high heels when she put the suit on, so that's also, you can't wear that the whole movie. That's tricky.
Paul, what was your favorite thing about it, other than her, I guess? The story or what they did, how they adapted it.
So I mentioned you know what? So something that Milly Alcock brings to this is, we mentioned House of the Dragon. She was really good with that High Valerian in there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene with her and her father as she's about to get sent off. And they're both speaking Kryptonian. So she's doing, like, they're both doing great with this fantasy language that they made up. And like, in modern times, like, there are actual linguists like working on these languages, and
right.
They're really sophisticated and really fleshed out languages. So it shouldn't be a surprise, but it just, there got to be, it's a short scene, but there got to be a point where I kind of like forgot that I was reading subtitles. Like, it just felt like natural that they were actually conversing. And that's a big ask of actors to do that with a fantasy alien language. And it just felt, it felt natural, and I loved it.
Here's my impression of David Krumholtz as agent. Great news. You've got a really good part in the Supergirl movie. Bad news is it's entirely a Kryptonese or whatever. Kryptonite. It's just,
right. They don't even do the what's it called, on Crimson Tide thing where they like switch.
Oh, the Red October thing.
Red October, yeah. I mix them up, but yeah, there's that switch in the scene where they go from speaking Russian to speaking English, and they don't have enough time to do that here. Yeah. But I think they handle it really well. And so I liked that. I liked that because in sort of the rest of it, we talked about how all the planets feel the same. Like, did you guys feel like this was a bit Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
And it's funny because it's not, I mean, it's James Gunn producing, but it's not James Gunn directing the movie. And so one of my takeaways from this movie is that I wish that the DCU or this expanded universe had its own distinct, cosmic world that didn't feel like anything else. And there's a little bit of that with Krypton. Like, that's different, but you've got
or a filmmaking style. If every film is going to sort of ape James Gunn's own personal filmmaking style, then what are we doing? Like,
but if they could have aped anything, could they have gotten the needle drops right? Like, can we work on those needle drops a little bit?
I really like the Jimmy Eat World one, or the cover of the Jimmy Eat World, but
people don't like that.
I don't like it.
I don't think.
Really?
I think that's an unpopular opinion from what I've seen.
It wasn't as impactful. Well, I'm not a huge fan of James Gunn's filmmaking. I like Superman a lot, but I'm not a big fan of Guardians movies. But they can't all be about pop music drops, right? That's going to get real old, assuming these keep getting made.
I am a big fan of those movies, and I felt like, can we do something different? Like, because this, like, she's in a trench coat with headphones on, and we've got all of these needle drops that don't necessarily make sense when you're like, there was a context for it in Guardians.
Like, she had a Blondie t-shirt on, so why not do more like that kind of, I don't want to say girl power rock, but like, what is she listening to, right? Like, put that. It didn't feel like what she was listening to was what we were hearing in the movie.
And like, why is there like a lounge act singing "Girl from Ipanema" on another planet? Like, what is they didn't?
It's incredibly hard to license music intergalactically. So that lounge could only
Like
get
maybe you could say like, oh, there was an Earth satellite that like we send our music up all the time, and but like I don't know if we ever sent up "Girl from Ipanema," but
Well, I
like
thought maybe because it was older that's how they got it, because it taken a while to get there.
like you can get there, but like they didn't lay the groundwork for it.
It just
It feels kind of lazy to me. It just feels like, oh, we're just gonna do the same thing that James
Chris
Gunn did.
Gillespie's a good director,
Right.
and so I wonder. I did see an interview with him where he said basically like James Gunn told him every film's going to be its own thing, but it didn't feel like it.
No,
it felt like a light version of his own thing. And the next one's going to be his film again. So we're going to have basically 3 films in a row that have the same kind of.
How did you guys feel about Krem, since we've got him on screen here?
I like Matthias Schoenaerts as an actor. He's doing the charismatic, weird, creepy villain thing. He does it very well.
Yeah, I thought he made interesting choices. It was so different from Woman of Tomorrow. Like just what was it? Krem of the Yellow Hills.
Yeah.
Like his whole backstory is very different in the movie. So I think I had a little bit of an adjustment period while I was watching it, but I did like that he just made weird choices in his delivery.
He's very eccentric, and
he's a great actor. I think he's currently in prison. By the way.
Oh, okay.
He's been arrested 11 times for driving without a license. I think they finally put him in jail. What I was thinking was, and this is just me. So I have this 5-year-old niece who's blonde. She saw the poster for Supergirl in the theater when she went to a Pixar movie, and she couldn't believe it. There was a superhero that looked like her, and I sent her a bunch of Supergirl dolls, because as soon as I heard that, Uncle Connor's on the case, and suddenly she got a bunch of packages. And I thought in the beginning, I was like, I wonder if she could go, like my sister could take her. And then by halfway through, I was like, oh, they're stealing the women for sexual purposes. Well, shit. Like, it was darker than my point is that it was a darker edge to it than I thought.
There's a Mad Max element, which
I was like, oh man, you can't.
Craig Gillespie is from Australia, so
and so is Milly Alcock.
True.
It just was darker than in that way, but it never really went there. So
yeah,
why add that element to it if you're like, you can't go there? You can only imply there, which is great. I don't want them to go there, but then now you're cutting off, and it's a PG-13 movie. There's a lot of like, again, I curse all the time, but it's a lot of necessary cursing for. I just want a movie that the young little girls can go to, and I don't think they can do this one. I don't know, Josie, what do you think? You were a little girl once.
A long time ago. Yeah, I think it's not quite for like a younger audience. I think also the storytelling would be confusing. Like there would have to be some descriptors there. In terms of it being like a female-led story, I did think it was interesting because it's, I think, a female lead that isn't being your typical female lead. Like in this, she doesn't need a love story. She doesn't need to create like a sisterly bond.
Well, there was that one guy at the bar, that one alien who was like, hello. No, you're right. There was no need for a cute guy to show up for her to be like, oh,
that's true.
That.
Yeah. And I liked that. I think that was really cool.
She's not in a good place for a relationship. This is not in the headspace for romance at the moment. I guess we have to talk about Lobo.
Okay.
I hate about 5 characters in comics, and Lobo's one of them. But I like Jason Momoa a hell of a lot. And I can't deny it's really good casting. But he didn't really need to be in the movie. He didn't add anything. If you take him out of the movie, nothing really changes, which is always my litmus test for these characters who come in. The first time you see him, he's doing a weird accent, and then he never does it again.
Yes, I was worried about it. I was like, wait.
First scene, I was like, oh, that's not a good choice. And then he just starts talking like Jason Momoa for the rest of the
movie.
Yeah,
the first scene is weird, but then everything after that, he just comes in like the Kool-Aid man, kind of like I wanted him to. Like, I just wanted him to be that. Here's my thinking with Lobo. I think he's fun. He's great seasoning. But in this movie Woman of Tomorrow itself is like a version of True Grit.
Yes.
And so one of the problems in this movie, one of the tensions, is that they have two Rooster Cogburn characters. You have
Mm,
Supergirl and you have Lobo.
right.
And you either need for all of the Lobo stuff to go to Kara, and that would give her and Ruthie more of a dynamic and more of a like back and forth, like how are we going to deal with this? And or you have to make something more of the dichotomy between Kara and Lobo. Like, what are the differences in their worldviews, and who
Right.
should Ruthie be looking at as a real role model?
Right.
And they
Have her
just
have her
don't
be
go there.
yeah, torn between Lobo and Supergirl, but Lobo just kind of shows up, bashes some head. And also like, and this is a problem with all these movies, but like how strong is he? And if he's that strong, how is he kept in the prison cell? Like, and then
Yeah, like
Ruthie
it,
gets knocked through like a wall a few times. I was like, shouldn't she be dead now? Because she's just
I
a
just
regular
and the
person.
same thing with Krem. I don't know how strong Krem is.
Right. And those are all the. But I just was when they find when Ruthie gets captured and she's in a prison cell next to Lobo, and I was like, how is Lobo caught in this prison cell? If he's so strong and powerful, he makes Supergirl nervous.
Like, I thought it was going to be that he was allowing himself to be
Mhm.
captured, and he's waiting because he wants to get that lieutenant guy because he's got a bounty on him.
Right.
And like I was like, oh, he's just biding his time, but then sort of that's not what was happening. Like Ruthie had to.
I mean, look,
free him.
he was fun because I think
He
Jason
is fun.
Momoa is really charming actor and fun on screen, and this kind of character is perfect for him. It plays to his personality, and he's sort of made to play him, you know, way more than Aquaman. But
I think he's really. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, but I just don't. I don't know. Go ahead.
I think he was really fun. I think he could have not been in the movie, and it would have been perfectly fine. It also feels like he was in a different storyline than like because there's this huge fight sequence at the bar, and then she like immediately tricks him into thinking she's just like a touring Earth girl.
Mhm.
Like he didn't see that huge fight sequence that had happened 2 minutes early. Like, it just felt a little
Right.
strange.
Or wonder how some sorority girl made it to the planet they were on.
Yeah, or wonder about that. So like in terms of him fitting in the storyline, it just everything felt a little off. But when he was on screen, I felt like it was really fun. I did hear someone call him like biker Beetlejuice, and I was like, that's pretty spot on.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. The one real positive was now I know how to pronounce Bastich, which for you, I always thought it was Bastich, but that's whatever I decided when I was a kid,
That's really
and
funny.
kept it going in my head for 30 years. So know how to say Bastich now, know how to say Bilky. Was that Bilky? Bilky. Is that the planet and the name of the artist?
Bilky is yeah.
These pronunciations really help, so I appreciate that. It's tough because one of the thoughts I had was when the movie ends, it just ends. There's no other sequences. I stayed the theater the whole time, but there's also no like fancy credit sequence. Like it felt like a step down. Like Superman was this big thing. It had this, you know, the superhero movies get these like animated credit sequences where we sort of recap what we just saw, and then there's a mid credit sequence, and then like it's just nothing. Just the movie just over.
Mm-hmm.
And so it felt like a step down from Superman. It felt like it was less than from a production standpoint. It was very strange. Like
It's like, you know, the early MCU films. A lot of them aren't like they aren't that great. Like they're not as fun or as dynamic as as some of the later ones. And maybe they feel like, well, we got to get some of these early ones out of the way, and then we can actually play with the connected universe and everything.
feels like Hulk.
Yeah.
Like I like Hulk. If it came on, I'd probably watch it for a little bit, but it didn't. It just, you know.
You mean Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
The solo one. And I don't need them all to be connected. I was hoping for something to see just where they were thinking about taking this character or some other element from the DCU they were thinking about doing, or some sort of teaser for Man of Steel. But I don't need it. Like it doesn't have to happen. But it just felt like it was less than because it didn't have all the bells and whistles that the other film did.
Mm-hmm.
Which was you know a bummer because I think she's a great character, and Supergirl is a character you know very well known. She's been like there's been like 5 live action versions of her or something like that. Like she's a popular character. Kids, you know, girls like her. That's important, and and she brings a different flavor to it, and so it just felt like this was a lesser than movie than Superman was. And that could have just been because they got in there, and these things happen when you make a movie. But I don't know.
It
I'm
felt
very
like
torn
that
about
all
it.
around, like
Yeah.
from production value to music choices to the end credits, where you're just kind of sitting in the theater waiting for something to happen,
I
and
wish
then
the guy who
everyone just
came
kind
with
of
the
shrugged
gig would
their
have been like,
shoulders
"Guys,
and
there's
leave.
nothing to wait for," because I would have
Yeah.
left. I was just sitting there. And I was like, "What is happening?"
My whole
once there
theater
no-
was sitting there. Yeah.
once there was no mid-credit sequence, I was like, "Oh, is it
Yeah,
gonna be
I
something?"
checked beforehand. I was like, do I need to wait? And then it said no, and I was like, oh, really? And so I got up, and like everyone was still sitting there, and I was like,
I
should I
meant
say
I
something?
meant to check. And I was going to check when the credits started because they put the house lights up too, which should have been my sign. They brought the house lights up, and I was going to check on my phone, but my wife wouldn't let me. But that's fine. I wanted to see some of the music credits anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because again, it wasn't a bad movie. I've seen bad movies. It wasn't bad, but it just felt like it was more of a mess, and it was less than Superman. But it's also really interesting that we're doing Superman again, don't you think? Like we're doing Superman, Supergirl, Superman. Those are the first 3 movies that James Gunn.
Oh, that we're getting the sequel, and it's
Yeah.
like, we're not doing like a Batman or a Wonder Woman. Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know. I'm excited for it. He's, like I said, he's great. I felt like it almost like he didn't have the right hair, like it was a little too long. The suit felt a little ill-fitting. It felt like they just sort of threw him in there. We need you to shoot the scene today. But
there's a little bit of that. Yeah, I guess that's my big takeaway is I wish that this felt like more of its own distinct world, and like the DC universe needs that, not just this movie. And this was like the stepping out into the broader world movie, because like most of Superman was in Metropolis. This is the one where we step out, and so I wish for that. And but the other thing is the characterization is great, and she's off to a good start that way. I just wish she had a better vehicle.
Yeah.
The brownness that you described, Josie, makes sense if you're doing a really faithful Western adaptation, right? You're going from dusty Old West town to dusty Old West town, but they weren't doing that. So might as well give us some variety in the planets and something different to look at.
Like in Woman of Tomorrow, the art style is still really bright. There's a lot of pinks and yellows, purples. The world is so vibrant. So it was really strange to see that sort of sepia hue throughout the majority of the film. I agree with you, Paul. Like I feel like this was really an opportunity to expand beyond Earth and show us like some really cool planets, and I was pretty excited for that. But I will say, like, in terms of casting, I think they did an amazing job, and I loved seeing the portrayal of all these characters. Even the Seth Rogen cameo, I thought was really fun.
That was him, wasn't it?
Yep. I was like, is that? I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm leafing through the final issue here. I just had to have it handy, and it's very bright. It's been a while since I read this. It's very bright. There's a lot of greens and yellows. They're on like a planet where the foliage is all very colorful, and like play with it, you know.
If you haven't read that book, it's incredible. The art is it looks like nothing else. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing I hope out of this is more people check out that book, because it's one of the best that's they've done in a while. All right, so final thoughts. I think we kind of did them.
Do we have to do we do ratings?
We don't have to. If you want to, we can.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that you gave it 4 different ratings on Letterboxd. So
okay, so on Letterboxd, I gave Superman a 4, and I initially
gave this as well.
I gave this 3.5. And I thought, well, is it only a half a star less than Superman? No. So maybe it's 3 seems too low. So maybe 3.25.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe 3.15. I don't know. I'm in that range.
Okay, Josie.
I think I'm around 3.7 because I would watch it again. Like if it was on,
watch it again for sure.
I would watch it again. Yeah, I think I'm around 3.7.
Okay. I'm the bad guy. Okay, I gave it a 2.5. I was that frustrated with it.
So that's what I gave to Mandalorian, and I was like, it's way better than Mandalorian. So I was trying to figure out how to fit it in between I was trying to figure out how to fit it between Mandalorian and Superman, and I didn't. That's where I kept going back and forth.
So like I guess I would give the movie like a 2.5. I would give her like, like a 4.75 or a 5. So yeah, it would even out at like a, a 3 or a 3.5, I guess.
Well, it helps when
it's such
the
a weird
lead's really compelling. You can at least watch that.
Mhm.
So interesting. Well, if since Paul is the bad guy, maybe check out the reasons why. Paul, tell people about your review. Where to find
Yeah,
your
you can go
review.
check out my written review over at popheist.com. I called the review Supergirl. Flattery will get you nowhere with a K, like nowhere in the Guardians movies. And that was sort of my big thesis, was that I feel like Supergirl is deserving of more than Peter Quill's hand-me-downs, because that's what this world feels like. Is like it's warmed over Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. And I think we need to move on to other things.
This is a universe that's got Oa. It's got planets that are interesting and different
Yeah, like
colored and like
no
do that.
Ran or Thanagar,
Right.
nothing like that. Like that's your
This is your
opportunity.
chance. If you can do a space story, have her. I know it's on the book, but most of the movie was in the book. Have her show up in Thanagar with all the Hawk people, or run
That's my
into
thing. Like she calls an alien Squidward. I don't know how long she's been on Earth to even know what Squidward is. Like that's like I don't know how she learned to fight.
right.
Like we don't see
Well, that's
that.
why it's either do the origin movie or don't do the origin movie, because now
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So we got more reviews coming up. In August, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is going to be humongous. In October, Clayface, apparently.
I'm excited.
That poster makes me ill. So it's going to be an interesting review.
That'll be me by myself reviewing that on a podcast.
I mean, I'll review it, but I just don't like body horror, and it seems to be what they're going for. And then December, we have another big one, Avengers Doomsday, which featuring everyone who's ever been in a Marvel movie ever.
Sounds like
so. It's Marvel's last chance. It's their Hail Mary pass to get right. So those will all be coming up later on this year. In the meantime, you go over at iFanboy.com. We go over 1,500 podcasts there. We have our weekly Pick of the Week show. We talk about the week's new comics, but we have these special edition shows with the review films. We just did Masters of the Universe last month. We also have our monthly Booksplode graphic novel reviews. We just did Paul and I and Jeff Reed, just 0 Hour Crisis in Time. That happened last month too. That was super fun. We have our monthly Media Splode show. We talk about non-comics media. All kinds of things happen at fanboy.com. You can find them there wherever podcasts are sold. And that's it. Thanks for watching, listening. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks for going to the movies and talking about it. And until then, I'm Connor.
I'm Paul.
I'm Josie.